Do you think I can record this entire video on a bike? No, I can't. So I recently got this electric bike. It's been a game changer when it comes to the direct correlation between distance ridden and sweat soaked into t-shirt in summer, and it's 35 degrees here today, so that's big. So you can see here that I have this front carrier situation that also includes this folding basket tub situation from my local hardware store. This is the third one of these I've had across two bikes now. It's $7. It mostly holds up to the punishment. It does the trick. But two things. One, it's just held on here with zip ties and it's not becoming of this nice new electrified bicycle machine that I have. And two, it's literally been about 120 days as of recording this video since I put anything on this channel. So why not 3D print a bike basket? So let me walk you through it. Plywood base, cut the size. Essentially, it needs to be big enough to hold my backpack fully loaded, which is what I'm cycling with a few days to work per week. Then we have these four corner posts that will bolt into the plywood. They hold 25mm dowels that slide in, and we have some middle corner pieces that allow for 19mm dowels to become the sidebars of the basket. And then we have these top pieces that become the top rail of the basket. But Tom, all of your various odds and ends are going to fly out of the basket with reckless abandon, I hear you screaming at your computer. Relax though, I have thought about this. On the middle bar, we have these goobers that slide through the middle that are perfectly situated to warmly embrace some more pieces of plywood. Then on the opposite sides of these goobers, on the ply base, we have these other goobers that will bolt in and also warmly embrace said ply. Repeat that for all four sides and you've got yourself a stew.
Baby, you got a stew going.
But this is a bit brutalist and also not that aerodynamic, so I went through and drew up a bit of a grid system. And yes, this cutting mat behind me finally paid off. But as you can see, once I started thinking about how many holes I would have to drill without a press and how messy the end result was going to be, I went back to the CAD drawing board and devised a little 3D printed situation, which makes a whole lot more sense given the nature of this content. So that's pretty much it. Assemble. And I'll pause here for a second because if you've seen any of my videos before, you'll know that things never go right on the first try, and you're probably thinking to yourself, why haven't we seen any actual 3D printing in this video? Well, my friends, I did actually get all of these things right on the first try. Yeah, I'm pretty shocked too, but the reason I haven't showed any sexy 3D printing shots is, well, this. Yes, the printer has been relegated to the back shed, mostly because I've kind of fallen out of love with it for a little while because I've got two little weens running around the house and one of those is barely months old, so it didn't kind of feel right to be printing willy-nilly, so out it goes in the shed. And actually on that, I'm guessing there's lots of people here who know me from my first setting up my Bamboo Lab A1 so that it doesn't slowly kill me video, because that thing just got like an extra 100,000 views over the pre-Christmas, post-Christmas season. 100,000 views is a lot of extra views, and I'm guessing a lot of you got new Christmas presents and new toys to play with. So welcome to the fun. Anyway, I digress. We're printing in the shed now and it's not very pretty. But on that, I'm currently waiting to take delivery of a combo laser engraver cutter and UV printing tool thing from a company that I can't name in this video, but there will be a video and probably many videos about that on this channel soon. So keep tuned to the channel and there's going to be lots of updates, I think, in the future. But I digress. The bike basket. Sorry, I'm back. So, before I said that I actually 3D printed everything perfect, first go this time, and also, by the way, I have all of these parts in Onshape, and I'll link that project below if anyone wants to grab them. What I failed to mention is that I didn't cut the dowels to the right length in the first go. I basically measured off the original bike basket, but failed to take into account the room that the dowels and posts take up on the inner dimensions. No stress though, another excuse for a bike riding montage to go back to Bunnings. Also, don't come for me for my woodworking prowess on this project. I'm actually pretty bloody handy with this stuff, but all of my tools are at another location and I brought back the bare minimum with me to make this video, so you get what you get and you don't get upset. Okay, cycling and shopping montage over. I have the proper lengths now, so let's assemble this thing. One downside to the bigger dowels though is the absolute disaster of a gate situation that I have at the rear of my house. It was already tricky to maneuver the original bike through there with the basket on, and especially with the toddler on the back whose hands kind of always got in the way. Well, the new basket, she's girthy. So is this thing gonna fit? Time will tell. Once I got everything assembled with the newly cut dowels, I stepped back and yeah, it was feeling pretty big. Like, I hope I can actually steer this thing on the road big. I managed to get all the side barriers printed, but of course, in classic built fashion, I ran out of the bone white filament right at the very end, but your boy sorted it out. Did he buy more? No, of course not. He dug through the scrap bin and found a tiny amount of plain white left. It's not a perfect match, but at this stage, the project's basically held together with a wing and a prayer, and my refusal to place another order of filament wasn't going to get in the way. So on to getting the barriers assembled. I'm now scrapping together any time I can find to get this thing finished, which meant the Minister for Glue-Ups needed to supervise me, and that supervision mostly amounted to banging the dowels on the desk and repeatedly asking, "What's this?"
What are those things?
What things?
Those things.
These things? Oh, they're all just things. But we got it done. Once they were glued up and somewhat in place, it became clear that I needed some smaller kind of top goobers to hold the barrier pieces in place on the far ends, because without them, they were kind of flopping around, feeling a little bit loosey-goosey. I then screwed and bolted most of the pieces in place, and it was finally looking like a real piece of work, but then inevitably I ran out of screws and time, so naturally it sat on my desk, untouched, for another week. And I spent that entire week overthinking the mounting situation. I was drifting off into my brain trying to over-engineer some kind of quick-release dovetail system, thinking that if it didn't fit through that little fence gate situation, that I could just slide it off and put it back on. But then I had a moment of clarity. Just fix the gate, Tom. So I did that, and I did away with the complicated design, and I just bolted that thing straight to the front carrier. Then finally, one night, I decided tonight was the night. I ripped the band-aid off, I went out and I raced the last of the fading light to get the old basket off and the new one on. Mounting the new one involved drilling through the metal front carrier, which resulted in me breaking not only the drill bit, but also completely cooking the drill itself. Don't worry, this thing was on its way out, an excuse to buy new tools. I also completely lost light. I got absolutely eaten alive by mosquitoes. I did confirm one thing though, it would 100% not have fit through the old gate, but it fits the new one, which is good. A quick test ride in the dark to confirm that it didn't fall apart at the slightest bump, which was important because I'd now committed and I had to ride to work with this the next day. Hard cut to the next day, I took it out on its maiden voyage, a 30-minute commute to work, and I'm happy to report she passed with flying colours. Speaking of colours, I'm undecided on what to do colour-wise. I'm thinking of painting the 3D printed stuff a similar green colour to the rest of the bike and keeping the timber natural, maybe with a bit of steel on it or something for the weather. But given how long this video already is and how long it's taken me to make it, I don't think that's happening in this one. So what do you think? What colour should I paint it, if any? Let me know down in the comments. I also have a bunch of ideas for accessories that I can mount on the top rails. A little mirror thing for seeing behind me without having to crane my neck, a clip for my hat, a phone mount. That'll be in another video though. If you have other ideas for things that I can slide onto this rail for accessories and fun, let me know. Anyway, like I said, all the files are linked below. If you want to try this for yourself, you can make it literally any size you want. Just cut the dowels and the base to length, and Bob is, as they say, your uncle. Much love, builters. I'll see you in 120 days, I guess.